Hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the big show. My name is Mickey, and this is Mickey in the Middle, the quintessential show for Middle Americans, where all Middle Americans are welcome. It doesn't matter where you've been, doesn't matter where you're going, just matters that you're here right now with us. Living the dream. Right here with Mickey in the Middle. This show is about Middle Americans and all of the things that are affecting Middle Americans. I just had a fantastic break. Went down to Texas, and then I went to Missouri, and then I went to Oklahoma to hang out with my daughter. Did a couple of shows from there. Then we had a fantastic Memorial Day weekend together while we moved her from one apartment to another. And Just had a great time with my daughter over there in Oklahoma. And here's this is kind of going to be a crazy subject, right? The name of the show is 2A, as in the Second Amendment. Before we get to the Second Amendment, I would like to do the chat, Mickey in the Middle chat Olympics. Congratulations to Carolyn, gold medal, Greg's Ledger for the first one to comment tonight. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you being here. You are the winner in the chat Olympics tonight, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk. So what happened was came back, had some business to take care of today. I got some cereal for a cereal drive that the police department is collecting for the THV cereal drive this summer, because a lot of the children that we have that are on school lunch programs are not eating through the summertime because they're not going to school, so they're not getting their squares a day. And so I went down and I bought some boxes of cereal. And please do me a favor. Please be mindful in your community of the people that might not have as much as you and that might need a little bit of food assistance through the summertime. And if there's a food drive, or if you feel the inclination, just go and grab some money, donate it to a local charity that's going to take care of all of our children and all of the families that might be in need through the summer. With the price of all the groceries going up, this is a great time for you to get involved with your community and be a good citizen if you have a little bit extra. It's one of the great things about being American. We are the most charitable nation in the world. Our people are the best people. We have 330 million people in the United States of America. And by far and away, we exceed charitable givings through our churches and through our charitable organizations than any other country in the world. And I just want to say, if you can think about that, that would be great. Then I went and renewed my business license. I don't have my business license with me. But anyway, so I did that today too. I went by the Chamber of Commerce and I committed to a couple of things that we're going to be doing for the Chamber of Commerce throughout the year. And then I went and just had dinner over at my next door neighbor's house over at Steve and Masayo. So hi, Steve. Hi, Masayo. I greatly appreciate you uh, uh, feeding me and being my friend. I'm going to tell you it's great. And congratulations to Andrea and Ethan for graduating high school. They will be going to the University of Arkansas next semester when the school starts. So they're on their way to college, and I had dinner with them. So that was absolutely fabulous too. So what I want to do tonight is it's kind of one of those funny things. I want to talk about the Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America. And the reason I want to talk about that is I am trying to figure out, and this is in all seriousness, I want to figure out what this has to do with me. So before I go on, I'd like to bring in my partner in crime. She is down in Mississippi and up to no good. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here's the one and only Nicole. Hi, Nicole. How are you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are y'all?
Oh, doing fantastic. Thank you very much. So, you're down in Mississippi and up to no good. Memorial Day weekend was about remembering all those that have given their life in the name of defending our country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But while we do that, while we remember them, most of us also get a 3-day weekend. So, did you have a good weekend?
I did have a good weekend. Actually, went and saw the new Top Gun movie. Have you seen it?
I have seen. Oh my gosh, I absolutely loved it. And you
Did
know,
you
there
did you did you get the rumble seats?
I know. We just went to a regular movie theater.
You should have. It was so worth it.
All right. So what I'm going to do right after this show is over, I'm going to go upstairs and I just bought the old version of Top Gun, the original movie that came out in 1983, 4, 5, somewhere in back there, right? So it's 35 years old, something. So as soon as I leave this, I'm going to go upstairs and I have a big stereo system that my wife bought me about 20 years ago that has the ability to rumble a seat. So I am going to rumble a seat up there. So did you cry during the movie?
Well, I cried because they didn't play the best songs of the soundtrack in the remake. Everybody says it's like the greatest remake of all time. It was good. It was worth going to see on the big screen. I will say that.
That is good. Well, I'm glad. So the part 2 of the Maverick saga goes on, and I think they really set it, without giving anything away, I think they really set it up for a future with the characters that they have as the young guns coming up. I think that's going to be absolutely spectacular moving forward. So let's get to the rest of the comment Olympics. So who else is here? Oh, Darla. Hey, Darla Storto, congratulations. You are the silver medalist tonight. It is great to see that you're with us tonight. So congratulations to Darla. Silver medal Storto. That is awesome. That is great. And then Carolyn Greggs Ledger says, Nicole, welcome back. And then she flew a flag. So that's cool. All right. So this is near and dear to my heart. So let's get right into this. Let's get into this. I got my the pocket Constitution right here, and I'd like to read the Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, and then I'm going to explain it because it is people read this and they read it incorrectly, and they do it on purpose in order to take advantage of the situation of the way that it is written. So here's what the Second Amendment to the Constitution reads verbatim. A well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So let me explain to everybody that's watching really, really quick what that means. A well-regulated militia, that means that there is going to be an army and it's going to be well-regulated. Because a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. If you are going to be free and you are not going to have anybody that comes in, that means that you are going to have a military, aka a militia, to protect the country. That's what that means. There's no other way to interpret it. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. We need to have a military in here. Matter of fact, we have 55 militaries in the United States of America. Did you know that we had 55 militaries, Nicole?
I did not.
All right. So we have one in every state. That's the Guard and Reserve for all of the states. And then we also have the federal military, which is the Department of Defense that works for the federal government. So we have one big military for the United States of America. And then we have 50 states plus Puerto Rico, Washington, D.C., Guam, the Virgin Islands. I don't know the other ones. So anyway, we have between 51 and 55 militaries, and the states have their own military. That's why they're called the Arkansas Guard or the Arkansas Army Guard or Arkansas Navy Guard, right? So we have all these militaries. We have to have those in order to remain free. Here's the second part of that. Second part says, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And the reason why they say that is because we had just gotten in a war with a state, the state being England, Great Britain.
I was going to say, what state?
Had a well-regulated militia. England, right? Great Britain. They had a well-regulated militia. And they came over and they tried to say, hey, look here, we're going to tax you and we're going to house people we're going to house army and sailors in your homes against your will. We're going to tax the crap out of you and we're going to do everything and you're not going to have a vote. So because they have that, they knew that the people had to be able to fight that and push back on the well-regulated militia. Because if the militia gets out of control, the people have to have the ability to fight back. So that's why they say the right to bear arms shall not be infringed.
Time
right?
out.
And that's go
Let's
ahead.
back up for 2 seconds, and then
Go
you
ahead.
can continue.
Sure.
Have a vote. Continue.
Have a vote
Yeah,
on what?
people have a vote.
Oh yeah, people.
And
Yes, people.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, like
exactly.
that's all right. So you
Right.
got to 55,
Huh?
right? So you
Yep.
got to the 55, and then people have a vote.
Yes.
So what are we voting on? 2A?
I don't understand the question. 2A, what do you mean? So no, but we elect representatives, and that's
Correct.
where our vote is, and then those people put together a militia. And if the people that we elect go rogue on us and they start imposing all these stupid rules and they say, "Hey, look here, we're going to take we're going to rape, pillage, and plunder. We're going to start off, and we're just going to." The people have no right to fight back. And the whole idea behind the Second Amendment is the people have to be able to organize and fight back against their government if it comes down to it. So I wrote down some examples. I wrote down some examples of the Civil War. The Civil War came down, and the North said, "Hey, look here, we're going to impose our will on the states," and the people had the right to fight back. That was the Confederacy. And guess what? At the end of that war, they confiscated the guns, and then they said, "Hey, guess what? You guys are allowed to have guns again because the Constitution says you're allowed to have guns," and that's why people got the guns back. So if you look at movies like Rambo, right? So Rambo was a dude walking through a town, and a sheriff oppressed him.
Ooh.
Right, right, and Walking Tall, the government got oppressive in Walking Tall, and Roadhouse, where the criminal took over the town in Roadhouse, right,
Oh,
right,
yum.
and then the people
I'm
had to
just
fight,
saying, like, okay.
back, right, and at Jack Reacher, the newest thing, right, there was a criminal element down there. Jack Reacher showed up to have some pie, and to listen to some blues music, right? Are you familiar with Jack Reacher?
I
He's
am
a
very
he's a stud, right? But
yeah.
guess what? If the people don't have the guns, then only the criminals have guns. And then Jack Reacher couldn't have done what Jack Reacher did, right? So the people have to be. So there was a crazy person down in Uvalde, Texas, and because there was a crazy person in Uvalde, Texas, they decided to take. Somebody's deciding to take Nicole's ability to defend herself away from you. Did you know that? Crazy person in Texas does something dumbass and shit ass crazy, and now they want your guns, Nicole.
Um, I've been hearing about it since I was in high school when
Uh,
Luke Woodham
oh, all right. You want to
shot.
tell that story real quick?
Well,
So
not
tell them.
really.
All right. So, well,
Um,
just tell
the
them kind
church,
of like what the circumstances are.
the church I grew up at was about a mile from the home where his mother was killed,
Whose mother? They don't
and
know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what
oh,
you're talking
um,
about. I
Luke
know what
Woodham.
you're talking about.
I'm
Right.
sorry, Luke Woodham, 1997, right around the corner from my church, best friends. Um, it's not new, so I don't understand why we're taking
Somebody
away.
went into. Did they go into a church, or did they go into a church, or did they go into a school and shoot it up down in
He shot his
Mississippi?
mother. He shot his mother and then went to the high school and shot several people.
Right. So you are very familiar with the situation that happened down in Uvalde because it happened less than a mile from where you lived at one time.
Correct.
Right. So you know the dangers of crazy people. Right. So
And I'd like to say for the record, I don't own a gun.
okay.
I know that might surprise people. I don't own a gun.
No, you don't. No, I don't expect everybody to own guns. Right.
But
I
I
don't.
do believe that it's our right, if I wanted one in my home, that I should be able to have one.
Yeah. Because here's what the thing is, I do own guns, and I went in, this weekend, I went to the movies to watch Top Gun, and right in front of the movie theater, I know I went down there, and it's got a big sticker, and it had a picture of a gun, and it had a little arrow through it, a little slash through it, and I had to return to my car. I'm just saying, I had to go back to my. Sydney's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "This sticker," right? So,
Can't.
and then, right. So there, but we have a whole bunch of places that aren't defended. Right. But I feel like if somebody wants to come into any place that I am in, that I should have the ability to defend myself no matter where I go, because some crazy son of a bitch in Mississippi or some crazy son of a bitch in Texas goes and does something. It doesn't mean that you should take everything away from me and that my ability to protect myself.
Or my family or the other citizens.
Right. So my daughter is in med school. Your cousin is in med school in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then I come in and I fire up my computer and guess what? This is what I see: 4 dead, multiple people injured in shooting at Tulsa, Oklahoma medical building. Right. So I turned that on. The first thing I could think was it Sydney? Was it Sydney? And then the second thing that I could think of was, man, I hope she had her gun with her. That's the first thing that popped into my head is a criminal person went into a medical building in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I hope that Sydney had her gun so that she could defend herself and not sit there and cower in a corner and be a victim rather than being able to defend herself. Am I wrong to think that?
No, absolutely
right?
not.
So, and that's where it is, right? So, I know. Here's what the deal is. I am old. I'm old, right? I'm almost 60 years old. I can't take a punch anymore. You know, I used to get punched a lot when I was a kid. Darla might remember some of that. So I'm just saying, right? So I can't defend myself anymore. But I can, what am I supposed to do now? Am I just supposed to say that I can't go downtown? Am I supposed to say that I can't go walking down the trail in Tulsa, Oklahoma in the bad parts because I'm not able to defend myself? And now the argument is, well, you don't need a AR style weapon. Says who?
I was going to say, I like it. Don't.
Right, exactly. I should have the ability to defend myself. The natural thing is we have 330 million people in the United States of America. 330 million people, that's a lot of people. And those people, you would figure that at least one of those people is going to be freaking crazy. Right? So and if they have access to weapons, it doesn't necessarily have to be a gun. It can be a car. 47 people were killed in Europe because somebody drove a car through a crowd. That happened at a parade earlier this year or last year when somebody drove a car through a crowd. And I don't know what the disposition of that is, but crazy people. Are we supposed to take cars away from people if somebody drives through a crowd of people?
More I probably shouldn't say this, but I leave my car running and unlocked at gas stations, and people are like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "If they're gonna take my car, they're gonna take it regardless. I'm not gonna live in fear of running in and grabbing a drink and running back out."
Right. Sorry. No. I'm with you, right? So I don't want you to live in fear, but I don't want me to live in fear. And you take care of you the way that you want to take care of you, and I will take care of the way that not one single person is going to come over here and say that I am a threat to go and do what that kid did down in Texas. And I'm not sure, Nicole, if I poop in my pants, should you have to wear diapers?
No,
that's a serious question. If I poop in my pants, should I make everybody that's on this show wear diapers?
No.
Well, exactly. So just because this kid went and got an AR style weapon and then went into a school and shot people, what does that have to do with me having an AR-15? And I mean, that is one of the craziest things about this that nobody's considering is that situation has nothing to do with law-abiding citizens and people that aren't mentally ill. He shot his grandmama. He shot his grandma. And that's absolutely torn. And you just said that the person down in Mississippi shot their mom or something like that?
Before he went to school.
Before he went to school, he shot his mom. And that's crazy. Carolyn says, crazy be crazy. They don't wear signs to announce their intentions. Carolyn, you're 100% right. They don't. That means that's why we need to do two things. Number one, we need to figure out how to protect ourselves at all times, because I don't know when crazy is. I don't know when people is going to show up with a firebomb. I don't know when somebody's going to show up with a car. I don't know when somebody's going to show up with a knife and start slashing like they did on London Bridge a couple of years ago. I don't know when people are going to show up with a handgun. You know, even if you take out AR style 15, Joe Biden was on the news the other day talking about getting rid of 9mm ammo. 9mm is the most prolific round in the United States of America. Most people use 9mm to defend themselves and to defend their homes and defend their cars and defend their families. 9mm is everywhere. Is it a military round? It's a common round used by the United States military, and the reason it's called a 9mm, although we don't do millimeters in the United States unless we're talking about ammo, just letting you know, right? But we do have 40 caliber, we have 45s, we have 50 cals, we have 60 cals, and the bigger the number, the bigger the round is, right? So a 22 is tiny, and then it goes up there. But the other thing is, they're telling me that I have to get rid of my AR style weapon, but that it's okay for me to have a tactical pump shotgun in my house. So that means that I can load that dude up and I can just go on a rampage with a tactical shotgun, a 12 gauge tactical shotgun, or I can take myself 10 guns, all with 5 rounds in them, and I can go wherever I want and do whatever I want, as long as the caliber is right. And as long as the gun doesn't look scary. What kind of logic is that? You know, a gun is a gun is a gun. And the larger the caliber of the gun, the more damage it will do. But the caliber of shotguns is not the equivalent of a slug, right? So buckshot.
Well, I think it goes back to who is holding the gun.
Yeah, you can't have crazy people holding guns, Nicole.
No, well, and unfortunately, this is probably not going to be a good opinion to say, but who's to say they're crazy when they get it, right? I don't know Luke Woodham. I don't know what his childhood was like. I don't know where that gun came from. I'm not saying that I do. What I'm saying is he was obviously not having a good day.
Right.
I guess that's as PC as I can make it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if his mother had the gun, would she have been able to deter what happened after he left the home?
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, right? But all I know is criminals have guns. You know, and
they're not signing the forms and going cheese for a picture.
Right, they're stealing them.
Right.
Right, they steal them. They take them. They have the girlfriends or boyfriends buy them for them. They have friends buy them for them. They do illegal straw man purchases and transfer them all the time. You know, cartels and the mafia and different organizations go overseas and buy guns, and they illegally import them to the United States of America. You know, one of the bad things about it is that bad people have the ability to own guns. And that's one of the things. So, you know, I have a friend of mine from Japan, and she says, well, we don't have guns. Our police don't even have guns in Japan. And I was like, you've heard of the Yakuza, right? Which is the Japanese mafia. I said, do they have guns? She goes, oh yeah, they got all the guns. So if the bad people can get guns, because they're going to find a way to get them, right? They sell enough drugs, they do enough deals, they go into the underworld, and the bad people get guns. How am I supposed to stand a chance against them? It's like Roadhouse or Jack Reacher all over again.
The Second Amendment.
Second Amendment. That's why we got to push back on all these people that want to take our guns. Because if a dude shits in Texas, why do I have to wear a diaper? I'm just saying, and it's kind of like that's what the show's about tonight, right? The show really is about, Nicole gets to defend herself any way that she wants. Mickey gets to defend myself any way I want. And, now I do believe that the government has to be able to figure out a way to say that people are certifiable and are for reasons within the law are not allowed to handle firearms because it's illegal.
Woo!
But it's illegal, right?
That's a slippery slope.
Right. But here's what the thing is, right?
Ooh,
right. There are people that are proven to have intimate danger with everybody, right? So in the state of Arkansas, if you are a domestic abuser, you're not allowed to have a gun in the state of Arkansas. That's already established.
Or felons.
If you're a felon, you're not allowed to have a weapon, right? So there are circumstances where you can take guns away from people, and I support those. But we have to be very, very careful in the way that we move forward because they can't take them away from ordinary, average, everyday, law-abiding citizens because we haven't done anything wrong. The second thing that's in the Constitution of the United States of America says that the right of people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers shall be against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. No warrant shall be issued upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, particularly described place to be searched. And then, wait a minute, 6. Where is it? I'm not going to be able to find it right now. All right. So I'm not going to be able to find it right now, but it says that you have to be able to have your day in court. So whenever we do this, we have to be able to make sure that people have the ability to have a day in court to have that adjudicated by a jury of their peers about whether they should be able to have guns or not. Now, it's going to make it more complicated for our law enforcement and judicial system. But here's what the deal is.
I'm going to go back to my previous comment. We all have a vote.
Get out there and vote. That's what I'm talking about. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. So, and then Carolyn Gregg Ledger said, "Good point, Nicole. That was good." So, listen, this is a very, very tough situation. We don't want people going out there and being crazy, but there's 330 million people in the United States of America. Somebody's going to be crazy. Somebody's going to figure out how to kill other people because people are crazy.
I mean, I'm crazy. I'm not going out there killing anybody, but
right. But you're good crazy, right? You're the good kind of crazy. You're not the bad kind of crazy. And then what else did I put on here? And then the last thing was Cabot schools. So we've hardened Cabot schools. We've hardened them. And I'm not going to go into the details, but a few years ago, they decided that they were going to put up barriers. They were going to put up double locked doors. They were going to go ahead and secure the building. They were going to bring resource officers in to those buildings and into those facilities. And then it was worked out between the school board, the sheriff, and the local police, the way that they were going to respond to situations like they had in Uvalde. And I think that if you're going to go to a concert and they're going to wand you and you're going to be secure at an airport, you're going to be secure at a concert event, or you're going to be secure wherever else you go, we cannot have these unsecured gun-free zones. The worst thing that you can have is a unsecure gun-free zone. That's what I'm saying about that. So, Cabot School's done a really good job about securing their schools, and I think everybody else in the country needs to do that too. So, without further ado, it's 9:31. Nicole, final thoughts, final words.
Entrapment tonight. I did not know this was happening.
Well, there you go. I didn't mean to entrap you or anything like that, but I want to let you know that I greatly appreciate you being here every single night that you can make it. I greatly appreciate it. I'd love to have you here. Thank you very much, everybody. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you tuning in. Remember, Mickey in the Middle, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Central, right here, wherever I am, right there, wherever you are. Remember to like, share, hit the notification bell. Tell all your friends about the show. If you like this, do me a favor, reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube. Just leave it in the comment. We try to read as many of those as we possibly can. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night. And without further ado, good night, small one. I love you. See ya.